And we are live. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi. How are you
How are you
guys?
guys doing over there?
Hello sa mga fans namin.
Kainit.
Sa mga fans ni Rob.
Hello sa mga fans namin,
How have
Mga
you
feral-
been, everyone?
Oh, surviving.
Surviving.
What's happening?
Surviving.
What is the latest update at sa restaurant?
Oh. Well, sorry. Wala, we're still trying to exist.
Mm.
All businesses are trying to
You know,
exist right
I'm
now.
not gonna let it drag my mood down, dude. I have 3 beautiful women that I'm sharing a podcast with tonight. We have a wonderful topic tonight. My lighting is not as good as yours, but I won't let it get me down.
All right. How about you, Doc Candy? Kamusta ka?
I'm okay. I repotted 20
Potted.
plants today, so I'm happy. I got
Awesome.
4 liters of kombucha in my ref and 4 liters
Wow.
of juice, so I'm totally good.
That's all you need. That's all you
Yeah,
need in
that's all I
life.
need right now.
Exactly. I wish I had kombucha. That's the only thing
I
missing
can-
in my life.
Kathy,
We
Scooby,
can- Y'all
I
just
might
need to
kill
like.
it.
you killed the Scooby?
I might kill it. I'm so bad with things like that.
It's so hard to kill, man. It's so hard to kill. you're gonna have Doc Candy's like same problem where like it's like it just keeps creating more like babies and you won't know where to put it.
Mm-hmm. I had to buy
Okay.
a new jar.
Exactly.
Hi,
Like
Ali.
I've been giving away my SCOBY. So if any of you want to experiment with your own kombucha brew, let me know. I have so many little babies that I have a whole SCOBY hotel now. It's crazy.
Nice.
Okay,
Wala,
you owe
bawal
me
yata sa
aloe.
akin.
Aloe and a
yata sa
SCOBY.
akin bawal yata sa akin yung kombucha.
Why?
That's a topic we're gonna get to later with Doc. Caffeine. Elimination diet is my baseline.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sige, I'll give you aloe na lang, Rob. How's that? It's either aloe,
I
kombucha, or both.
So I fermented some radishes, carrots, cucumbers, and carrots. Did I say carrots? Yeah, I did.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm
So
pretty
you're
much
You're
with
all about pickling.
lactobacilli. Yeah, I'm packed with lactobacilli.
Bacilli.
Oh, kulang na lang yung Shirota strain eh.
Well, yeah, let's since Rob has kind of started, let's get into tonight. So, guys, welcome to Mindset Matters. My name is Kathy. I am a life coach, digital marketer. I am with my good friend Chef Rob Pengson, celebrity chef and educator. And my
Artistahin lang.
And then my lovely friend Rika, who is a content creator and yogi.
Yes.
And I'm so excited that I have my doctor on today, representing Centro Holistico, Dr. Candy Drilon-Dalman. Thank you so much, Doctor,
Hello.
for spending the time with us.
Thank you for having me. Wait, I'm so
awesome,
little
Doc.
with this.
Welcome, Doc. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the Mindset Matters, Doc Candy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
We love having people on the show.
for sure, especially when we get to learn so much from them. So I invited Doc Candy over because like I really wanted to start this conversation, and I think it's very timely as well since we just got out of MECQ. We're back to GCQ for now. And, a lot of people have kind of been getting a bit paranoid about their health, konting magkasipon na, like people are just, like they're asking who to talk to, if they need to get a rapid test, a swab, etc. I've had my own little COVID scares. And I went to Centro Holistico for like a rapid test, etc. Yeah. So, like what I really wanted to talk about with you, Doc Candy, is, in this time of COVID, with people kind of, we're all really waiting for a vaccine. Um, right? And it's gonna, and we don't know when that's gonna come. So right now people are kind of living in fear. So I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about like how does like functional medicine help us fight COVID basically. And if you could
Pero wait lang.
Yes.
Sorry, wait lang, madam. Maybe, baka we should first say, what is functional medicine?
Well, yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna get
We'll get to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Excited ka
Masyado
masyado.
excited yung mga microbiome.
Excited eh.
Yeah.
Excited
I
si
think
Rob.
I think
Yeah.
functional medicine
Excited
changed
yung
your life.
bacteria ko. Excited
Yeah.
yung
So,
mga microbiome.
So, like not a lot of people are familiar with functional medicine. I know like I wasn't. Like for me, like medicine is medicine, and and just getting to know you and getting to know like what the process was just so eye-opening for me. So, I was kind of hoping you could share that with, the rest of the audience. Like what is functional medicine and how is it different from like traditional medicine or there's another type, naturopathy, let's say.
Okay. Basically, functional medicine from the root word, from the term functional medicine, is it's our goal is really to bring back the normal function of the human body, because when any body is normally functioning, no disease should come out. Basically, that's a very simplistic way of going about it. So it's like in if you're familiar with traditional Chinese medicine, in traditional Chinese medicine, if all of the meridians, all of the energy channels are working in harmony and everything is everything is working normally, it's basically your body should not develop any disease. So in
Mm.
functional medicine, we look at a lot of different things. So we look at the environment, your diet, your lifestyle, your we ask a lot of questions. Like Rob, I think went through a functional medicine consultation already, and it's like a 2 to 3 hour consult depending on how complicated your lifestyle is. So we try to see how your body is responding to certain triggers in the environment, in the food that you're eating, your stress levels, everything that has in that you basically get yourself into on a daily basis. So, like for
Mm.
example, there are a lot of people who are who are actually gluten intolerant, but they didn't know about it until they did some they right. So until they we try to figure out like what why are you inflamed in the first place, and why are some people more what do you call this? Why are some people reacting to dairy and some people don't? So stuff like that. So we try to figure out what's going on, and of course, once you find out what these things are, you try to remove them from your life. You try to remove them
Mm.
or minimize your exposure to these things.
Yun.
Got it. So,
So,
Doc, how different
kasama mo. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, so Doc, how different is a functional medicine consult compared to a traditional medicine consult? Like, what's the difference of me going to you rather than me
Mhm.
going to like the ER?
Okay. So when you approach a traditional medicine physician, we usually ask what your symptoms are, and we give a medicine, or of course we diagnose you, and then based on certain clinical practice guidelines, we give what specific medications will address those symptoms. So if you have hypertension, we'll give you something to lower your hypertension. So that will also what medication will also depend on if your kidney function is good, how's your sodium levels, etc., etc. So we like in function in a lack for a lack of a better term, I'd like to I'm in my mind, traditional medicine is really more addressing the symptoms when it comes to medicine. Now, that's not
Mm.
necessarily a bad thing. Okay, of course, for example, your blood pressure is really really high, like 200 over 140. You really need those medications. If you have an acute infection, you need antibiotics right away. So that's when traditional medicine really comes into play. Now, the difference with functional medicine is we really look at the root cause. What brought this person in, and why did that person develop, let's say, diabetes in the first place? So while the medications that are their traditional medicine doctor is giving them, like for example metformin or insulin, we try at the back end, we try to work closely with their doctor, with their attending physician, and then we try to figure out what brought them in the first place. So why did they develop diabetes? Is it because they have because of their insulin levels? Is it because of stress? Is it because they're highly inflamed? Is it because of the food they're eating, etc., etc.? And then from there we try to bring them back to their normal functioning. And then
Mm.
eventually, hopefully, if they follow the program strictly, or we're able to figure out what their triggers are and remove it from their diet, the medications that their attending physician is giving them will be removed eventually, and they'll live a healthier lifestyle.
Mm.
That's great. Oh,
Got it.
that's awesome. I'm a believer. I'm a super believer in this. Because all my life I shared this with my doctor. No, I think our session lasted almost 2 hours, and I was like, this is the first
Mm-hmm.
session that lasted so long. Usually doctors, I'm happy na umabot ng 5 minutes yan eh, di ba?
Oo nga.
But with this one, no,
It's usually, yeah.
yeah, I think I shared my story, and he shared his insights, and it became quickly apparent to me that all my life, or all our lives, everything that happens to us, accidents, disease, everything that we eat, it really affects our health. And then we can, if you take a look at it, we can really see it. And it's nice to know that as a human, we can control how healthy we are instead of waiting to get sick. And so much of this
Yes.
chronic diseases out there, we're told that it's chronic, but then a lot of people who understand or have gone through the route of functional medicine, this
Mhm.
chronic diseases, for a lot of them, disappear.
Yes.
Mm.
And
Well, a lot of the
so
chronic
amazing stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the chronic diseases are chronic because our lifestyles are chronic. We live every day like not thinking about what we're eating, not thinking that these types of foods are actually affecting our health. So, of course, you eat every day, you drink every day. So, your choice of food and water and whatever else you do every day really affects your health. So, that's why these diseases become chronic. But, of course, when you modify your lifestyle, these diseases don't become chronic anymore, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely you can eliminate
Galing,
them.
galing,
Yeah.
galing
I
siya.
think like for a lot of people as well, like we like to hide behind, hindi nasa lahi kasi natin yan eh, like
Mm,
if you have
I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
diabetes, nasa lahi kasi
yeah,
natin yan eh, kaya meron ako nito, and like people, like we almost normalize having this certain sakit,
yes,
because it's passed down from family member to family member. But I think like what I kind of realized after talking to you was that yes, like it's in the genes, but at the same
Mhm.
time, like it also really depends on our lifestyle and what we eat and how we treat ourselves in order for that kind of like for example the that gene for diabetes that gets activated.
yes,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah. So like one of the founder of functional medicine of Institute of Functional Medicine, Dr. Jeffrey Bland said that one of my favorite quotes actually is that your genes do not dictate what type of health you're gonna get. It basically tells you that your genes will tell you how your body's gonna react to certain environments. So, for
Mm.
example, you have the genetic marker for, let's say, cancer. So you already know that you have the family history for cancer. So don't go into a lifestyle that's going to trigger the cancer, because it's
Mm.
not right. It's not automatic that you're going to get cancer even if you have the gene. But if you expose yourself to, let's say, an unhealthy diet, a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugar, a lot of alcohol, which is very normal for any 20 or like late, like teenagers or 20-year-olds, even to the early 30s. you're really gonna get it. You're really gonna get any genetic disease that your body has. So if you
Mhm.
know already, like you know basically your family history. If you already know that it's in the genes, or even if you don't have it in the family, don't try to trigger anything. So yeah, just go the healthy route. And of course,
Mm.
maybe we always advocate, mental health. So if once in a while you need a drink, a glass of wine or a bottle of wine, you can still do that, but just don't do it every day. Like have a limit.
Balance, balance pa rin. Yeah.
Oo.
Health balance.
I'm curious, Doc. Is there, like, we mentioned mental health?
Mhm.
Um, does functional medicine can functional medicine support anybody going through mental health issues like anxiety, depression, being bipolar?
Mhm. Yes, definitely,
Is
definitely. So we really get a lot of the mood issues that we see in the clinic has a lot of things going on in the gut. So our
Mm,
gastrointestinal system actually dictates a lot of how our mood is, how our mental well-being will be. Basically because the your gut produces a lot of the neurotransmitters in the body. It produces like at least 70 to 90% of your neurotransmitters, and these neurotransmitters dictate what type of mood you're gonna have. So for example, you lack serotonin because your gut is not producing the serotonin, and the serotonin is like it makes you happy, right? So
mm,
if you lack the serotonin in the body, your mood can be sort of depressed. And in the long term, if you don't address this, it will really lead to any type of mood disorder. It can be bipolar disorder, it can be depression, it can be anxiety. Now at the
mm,
same time, when we look at a lot, especially for women, if we get a lot of hormonal imbalances, like, and we get our periods once a month, and then I think the guys know this who have girlfriends or have wives, that there's this really time of the month that we're really really snappy because our neurotransmitters are also dictated by our hormones. So any imbalance in our hormones can really affect our mental health. So yes, functional medicine really does have a role, and we also really look at the how stress plays a role in our overall health. So whenever a
mm,
person is highly stressed, high cortisol levels, high inflammation in the body, and then I don't know if you've heard, if you know some people that every time they're really really stressed, their blood pressure really just shoots up.
mm,
um yeah, and it's because they increase their cortisol levels in the body, they also increase their inflammation, hence their blood pressure just shoots up. In Chinese medicine they call it liver yang rising. In functional medicine it's basically because also your inflammation goes up, everything just goes
mm.
haywire, stuff like that. So it's all connected,
Yeah.
it's really all connected.
I get hives when I'm like super stressed. So I guess there's some imbalance there somewhere that I need to address.
Inflammation, that's the inflammation. Shh. Sorry, my son just entered the room.
This is awesome. I'm
Oh,
learning a
Hi.
lot.
Hello.
hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hey.
Hello.
He's such an
So,
artista.
so Doc, so we were talking about like how the gut really is the center of like our health, etc. What happens if like it's the
Mhm.
gut that's not working?
Leaky gut ba tawag doon, Doc? Leaky gut.
One of the
Sorry,
things
hold
I
on.
oh,
Hello? Sorry. I think I'm chopped.
can you hear us now?
Ala, parang na baka naghang yung connection.
Oh nga eh. Well, the
Leaky gut
connection's been kind of
syndrome.
wonky lately. Yes, there
Yeah,
are lots
parang,
of types of leaky guts. Like I just realized.
yeah, connection these days are tough. Well, because there's no permits to build towers for the next 3 years. What does that have to
For
do with COVID? Seriously.
exactly.
Diba? I
Everybody's at
know.
home using the Wi-Fi, so
Oh,
okay.
That's
wait.
depressing.
While we kind of wait for Doc Candy to reconnect. Oh, there she
Oh,
is.
there.
Hello, can you hear us now? We
Sorry,
can
wonky
see you,
internet.
but there we
Can you
go.
hear me?
Yeah, that's what we're just saying. It's
Yeah,
kind of
there
the
you go.
internet.
Hi.
Really good. Yeah. So Doc, like I was asking, like since you're talking about like the gut and the gut being like the
Mm-hmm.
center of like our body in terms of health, what
Mm-hmm.
happens if it's the gut that isn't working?
Okay. So the thing with the gut is it's like hundreds of meters um of tube inside your body. So it's really a connection between the outside world and your body.
Mm.
So whenever you ingest anything, like it has a tendency to you will your body will absorb it. So any if the whole gut is unhealthy, let's say you get a leaky gut. Now for people who don't know what a leaky gut is, it's basically the cells in your gut, in a very simplistic terms, the cells in your gut actually are supposed to be like dikit, okay, they're supposed to be bound together. So if because of the food that you're eating, or because of the high inflammation, because of a lot of the because of the maybe antibiotics that you took a long time ago, the cells in your gut, they tend to separate, or they tend to die, or they tend to not be healthy anymore. So when they're not healthy,
Oh,
you get the indentations in between the cells. So that's when we call it the leaky gut, or it becomes permeable. The layer becomes permeable. So what happens is a lot of the things that you eat, or a lot of things that you ingest, and the microbiome in your gut, you tend to absorb it, and it goes into the bloodstream. So when that happens, because you're not supposed to have those things in the body, what happens is the body thinks that, okay, that's a foreign object, so I have to attack it. So your body
Mm.
becomes highly inflamed. So imagine having
Oh.
that every day of your life, because a lot of people, it's not really a popular diagnosis or popular term in the traditional medicine world. So whenever we get patients that we think has a leaky gut, and the symptoms can be very vague, from migraines to joint pains to like rashes, etc. It's the symptoms can be like a whole lot of things. So whenever
yeah.
we tell our patients that, yeah, you probably have a leaky gut, you're reacting to something, or you're reacting to everything because your gut is very permeable, we it's really hard, because anything they eat, sometimes I got a patient, anything she eats, she'll react to it.
Oh,
Wow.
like
Like anything.
allergies?
Like she'll get constipated, she'll get allergic reactions, she'll get migraines with anything she eats, because her gut was just really, really damaged.
That's
So you
horrible.
Yep. And it took her years before she was able to get a diagnosis. And for her
My
it took
gosh.
us, yeah, like at least a year and a half to bring back, bring her back to normal functioning. And, but once you get the diagnosis right, once your gut is actually healed, everything just follows. Like if your microbiome, the one that actually produces your B complexes and breaks down the food further and makes you absorb the nutrients that you're supposed to eat, that you're supposed to absorb, just everything just flows smoothly after that. So
Mm.
yeah, that's
So
why
that,
also the gut is very, very important, because that's how you're able to absorb the food that you're eating. Because you can't get an IV every time, like
Yeah.
every day, right? So it's hard. So it's very important for your gut to be healthy, because number one, you're supposed to absorb the food that you're eating. You're supposed to digest it, and that's the only way you're gonna get it, aside from the IV, which you can't do every day.
That's tough, Doc, coming from my field, since I'm a chef, culinary professional, we were taught to romanticize food like steak. We all know how much
mm,
antibiotics and how much, besides there's steak, beef, dairy, milk, and all our milk now has practically no good bacteria because so much of our food is pasteurized. So basically, the only thing that's left
Yes,
is the additives that they put in,
unfortunately.
plus the macronutrients. Diba? That's it. But then all this good stuff that's in the
Mm-hmm.
soil, that's in the food, they no longer exist. And I believe now there's aside from the pandemic, there is an obesity epidemic happening in a lot of. I've been researching, a lot of countries where the Western diet is becoming the norm. Stuff like Shake Shack, Burger King, cheese, pizza. Diba? Now you have so many Filipinos who are, quite getting to the realm of obese. And then before, everyone was so trim, eating so much rice. Diba? And now we demonize carbs and rice, and then people are eating all this paleo diets and keto diets. But the moment they go astray, all sorts of problems pop up. So, Doc, how do we, how can we take care of our gut? Asked by, Oy, Sir Jericho San Miguel, boss. Nice to see you. So, how can we take care of our gut?
Yeah. Wait, I think Doug Candy's internet's gone down again.
All right.
Oh,
So, yeah,
But
girls, how
yeah.
do you take care of your gut?
well, aside from kombucha,
Aside from kombucha.
for me, I take probiotic pills. I alkalinize my body so that the gut stays healthy also. But that's
Gut level,
part of
got it?
it. When you alkalinize your body, your gut
Yeah,
health becomes also good. And then
I
you
believe
have
so, yeah.
to
Mm.
you don't only have to have a healthy what do you call that? Flora, diba? You need to have a diversified. You need to have more kinds of
Yeah,
what do you call them? The flora.
microbiome, good
The ba-
bacteria,
yeah, so somebody
the good
told
guys.
me the good guy. Somebody told me your gut Dao is kind of like its own universe, and you gotta have like different creatures. You can't just have all giraffes in one planet, right? You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
have
for sure.
different animals. So that's how I think of my gut. It's like a zoo. You gotta have
It's
all kinds of
Okay.
animals.
I love that.
definitely, it's kind of like a planet, And
Yeah.
in a way, wouldn't you say, I know this is a bit philosophical, no? But you know how the microbiome in our gut creates, basically defines the health of the entire human being. But look at us now. We're like the microbiome of planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Where's, you know what I mean?
It's so
The more,
interesting,
Yeah,
no?
yeah, it's
we
interesting
aren't
how
doing it.
it's made up. Si Doc, babalik na.
There we
I
go.
find
Yes,
it
hi
so
Doc.
cool. I find it so
Sorry.
cool how like those little things are the ones that dictate our moods and our hormones and stuff, right? I mean, you would
Yeah,
think it's like the brain, but it's like
yeah.
down there.
It is. I have a trivia for you, and maybe Doc can verify if it's true or not. Doc, I read that our human cells or genes are outnumbered by our bacteria.
Yep. By
By
like
how
a
much?
by like a trillion, if data
Oh
is,
my
is
gosh!
yeah, it's like we're like bacteria living in a human body, something like, or like we're back, or yeah, we're basically
And
made of
what's this?
bacteria.
And that
Wow.
bacteria,
Basically,
and Doc, that bacteria changes every with all the things that we put in our body, not just through our mouths, but
Hmm.
even through our
yeah.
noses when we breathe and everything. No?
Yeah, like
Oh,
everything, like our skin has its own bacterial flora. Like our all of our mucous
Really?
membranes, they have bacteria. Our mouth has its own flora. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything down there, it has its own flora. So we're like, yeah, we have bacteria all over the body. So like right now, because we keep on putting alcohol every time we go out and every
What?
time we touch
oh.
something, we're actually disrupting our normal flora. Like I think some doctors from the states were gave a press release about it. Like we're actually destroying one of the essential things of our immune system, which is our bacterial flora. Because what does it do? Why do we need this bacteria in the first place? It basically primes our body from the outside environment, because the world is not sterile. Okay, where there are
Yes.
like a whole lot of germs everywhere from
Yes.
the air that we breathe to the ground that we walk on. So the our gut bacteria and everything, like our bacteria in our bodies or in our noses and our mouths, they prime our body, our immune system, so that every time we go out, we don't get an allergic reaction to the germs, or
Mm.
we don't get, like, whenever we get any type of virus, where our bodies are already primed that okay, this type of virus is somehow
This is familiar.
healthy or somehow normal, so you don't react to it.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Got
Wow.
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I know there's some pushback in the traditional medicine community about functional medicine, no?
Yeah, a lot of
Doctor,
pushback over the years.
can you share that? Can you share it and what it's like for you?
Well, recently we've been getting more referrals from traditional Western doctors, so we're okay the past few years. But when we started, of course, the concepts were not that much accepted. they think, because a lot of the concepts of functional medicine actually came from naturopathic medicine. So there's
Okay.
actually why there's like a debate in the States, like the naturopathic community is not like a big fan of the Institute of Functional Medicine or the functional medicine doctors, because they're saying that that's naturopathic medicine like repackaged and added more science to it. But I think that's the difference with functional medicine and naturopathic medicine. So it's we do, because in naturopathic medicine it's like very holistic, but they don't really
Mm.
like go into the traditional Western medicine. In functional medicine, it depends on what your field is. Like for me, I'm an integrative medicine doctor as well. So I'm a medical doctor, and I do acupuncture, I do herbs, I do a lot of things. So that's my practice. So I integrate the functional medicine paradigm, the theories, into my practice. So there are a lot of naturopathic doctors who do that as well, because they kind of see like the difference already, like in terms of theories, like in terms of how you look at the patient. So anyway, so how is it with us? I think like for me, it's I've learned not to care anymore. Just kidding. I've learned we've learned over the years that we've seen the results in our patients, and we've had a lot of patients telling us that what you're doing is working. So whenever we get some pushback from traditional doctors, we're like, well, you do what you do and we do what we do. So you get if we our patients are doing well, they're getting pregnant, they're losing the weight, they're losing their maintenance medication. So we're good. So you can do whatever you want. Eventually, like, we get a lot of our friends who are very getting much familiar with our field are actually referring patients to us, and we work together. I think that's our goal. It's really to work
Yeah.
together with the traditional doctors, because there really is a role, like there's a role for everyone in the field, and our role really is to look at the backside, what the traditional doctors are not able to look at, because they get a lot of patients. So we
Mm.
look at the lifestyle, we look at the genetics, we look at everything, how everything is interconnected. We basically like put things together, and then we refer to them as well. So I don't see the reason why we cannot work together.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. This is great. I love this topic today. Good call, Kathy.
Right.
Super good call.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh wait,
what,
Jericho was asking before
oh,
Doc got
Yeah.
cut off. How do we take care of our gut, Doc? Like, what are the
Okay.
natural? What can we do, staying at home, to take
Stay
care of our
home.
gut?
Okay. Okay. So
avoid toxic
the basic
people.
rule.
Right.
Okay, the basic rule is number one, to remove your triggers, to remove the bad stuff. So what are the bad stuff? um, okay, processed foods, sugars, a lot of alcohol. When I say a lot, because a little bit is okay once in a while. I drink alcohol myself. It's in kombucha, alcohol's in kombucha, so it's fine. Um, So you remove, and you have to remove your triggers. So if gluten triggers you, if dairy triggers you, remove it. If rice triggers you, remove it. So people get triggered by a lot of different things. So it's nice to go through an elimination diet. So you really, with the elimination diet, you remove a bunch of the things that are most commonly inflames the human body. So Rob, I think you did the elimination diet,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
How was it for you? Like, what were the things that you eliminated?
Well, basically the elimination, basically no more dairy, no more coffee. I thought I couldn't live without coffee, no. So
Mm,
the first 2 days were tough, but after that, Doc, I was sleeping so much better.
yes. I agree.
All my bodily functions, all, as in all,
All.
dude. I was like, whoa, diba? It's like parang I'm 41,
Everything.
and it's like I was 21 again.
Yeah.
I won't get into too much details, no? So if there are any guys watching there that have problems of whatever the problems are that I'm talking about, you know what? Eating that steak might just make you're actually less of a man if you eat that steak. If you try going vegan for a week, my gosh, then
Yeah, you know
should,
why? Because the blood flow is better. You have a lot less inflammation, so the blood is a lot thinner. So blood flow to every single part of your body is better.
And I
So
breathe
hence,
better. I breathe better. Parang
definitely
before, I couldn't breathe from my nose. I was always like,
congested.
my sinus congested. And then I think it was about a week or 10 days afterwards, the elimination diet, no? Basically, the only protein I could eat was duck, lamb, chicken, and fish.
Fish.
And then I could start breathing through my nose again.
Mhm.
That hasn't happened, Doc, in 20 years.
Wow, you
Wow.
see, and that's just 10 days in, diba? That was
10
just ten
days
days
in.
in.
I know. So that's why I said, no, I started the elimination diet, and then I slowly introduced eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And, coming from this marketing ploy of paleo, keto, I used to eat eggs every day.
Yeah.
So after 21 days of no eggs, I ate the eggs, diba? Because we're supposed to eat it 3 times within
Yeah.
24 hours.
Kamusta? What happened?
Nakagulo yung sistema ko. I got itchy. I was itching. And then my
Oh my
stomach
god.
was so bad. And I was bloated. And I
Mhm.
said, dude, that's 2 scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that's two
Diba?
pieces lang, diba?
Yeah. So I stopped it. And then later on, I realized that soy also. So now I'm very healthy. I'm just hoping that the weight will follow soon. Because I still haven't seen the weight go down yet. That's my
Mhm.
issue.
But have you been
But,
Do you
working
know what
out?
you need?
sorry, go on.
What do you need, Kathy?
What do I
You know
need?
what you need? You need a colon
Girlfriend,
cleanse.
girlfriend,
I know
girlfriend.
what you need.
What do I need? A
I knew
girlfriend?
she was gonna say that.
What do I need?
You need a colon cleanse to like get rid of all that like stuck that's
Oh,
in your system.
Can I
And
not
yeah,
put
essentially,
anything back there? I don't want to put anything back there.
it's necessary.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I'll
speed
only
up
do it.
everything.
Okay, I'm only going to do it with a female doctor or attendant.
yeah, we have female attendants in the clinic. Right? All our nurses are female.
all of the cancer are female.
Oh no!
But yeah,
Wait,
sometimes
You're gonna have a good
yeah,
time. You're gonna rub your tummy so it doesn't feel too bad. But yeah.
yeah.
oh wow!
It's like
That's
20
insane.
to 30 minutes of it's not that bad actually. It's not that bad. Because sometimes you just really need that extra push. Because not there are some people they've been
No.
living with it for too long, and then they sometimes just need an extra push to just get
Mm.
everything out. Yeah.
Where's
So
your
there. So
clinic?
Yeah.
Where's your
so
clinic?
we have in Alabang, in
NBD.
Pasig and in Quezon City.
Oh, okay.
We have 3 branches.
The
Yeah.
closest one
in
is in
where in Alabang, Doc?
In Commerce Center building. It's
Okay,
on the
bisita
second.
ako. Bisita ako.
Yeah, go. So it's the building is like across Acacia Hotel. So it's
Mm.
Oh,
easy
yeah,
and
yeah.
basement parking is very convenient.
Si Kathy talaga suggesting a colon cleanse, huh?
Because she loves it. I love it.
I
But
don't
what
love
is
it.
You don't
You
love it.
love
I love it.
You do it. You did it already more than once.
I've done it once. I've done it
Oh,
once,
yeah.
and
Oh
it
yeah.
was an experience.
Yeah.
Pero like but honestly, like it did me a world of good because like my history with like my thyroid problem, whatever. I was always super manas.
Mm.
And like I was like super constipated as well all the time. And like just talking to Dr. Candy, she was like saying, and basically like I'm super constipated. All the toxins that were supposed to be let out by a bowel movement are just being reabsorbed into my body, which is
Mhm.
probably why I was feeling so manas. So she was like, you should probably do like a colon cleanse
Just
just
try
to
it
like
out.
clear the area out. And it worked. It worked. Like I don't know what Doc Candy did to me. Like, I talked to traditional doctors and they're, it's always medication. Diba? Parang, what's your sakit? I will give you medication. And like for my thyroid problem, like, they were giving something for my T1, whatever.
Mhm.
But then good thing the doctor warned me. He was like, okay, two things are gonna happen. Either number one, you kind of like stay the same, nothing's gonna change, or number two, you will have no control over your weight. And and plus like the medicine is super tapang. You're gonna need extra medication to protect your liver and kidneys.
Mhm.
And
Oh wow.
I was thinking to myself, do I really want this? Like, at my age, like to have, like kind of be on maintenance meds and, So I was like, there's probably a better option. So yeah, I found
Yeah.
Dot Candy. I had my consult with her. Like, I don't know what you did to me, but yeah, like, I really feel like I'm on the mend.
Yeah.
Like weight is dropping. I'm not doing anything different. Just making better choices with like my diet, trying to stay away from pressures and triggers. And yeah, it's really helped me a whole ton.
I think with
Yes.
That's
Kathy, yeah, with
awesome.
you, with Kathy, because you were doing a lot of things right already. Like you were taking
Oh,
kombucha regularly. Your diet is not really that bad. I had to actually with you, we didn't really need to remove anything. We had to add more things, like add more variety into the vegetables that you're eating and stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
eventually, like yeah, we just had to boost you up a little bit, and then yeah, like everything will follow. Because
Mm,
sometimes people think that they're already eating healthily, but they're actually not. Like with you, the variety of your food is like five things that you eat on a daily
lots
basis,
of this.
and that's it. And then I'm like,
My
dude, just
diet is like hummus for breakfast, lunch, and
I'm
dinner, and coffee.
like, oh my gosh, that's all you eat. So we're like, okay, can you please add a little bit more to of things to the stuff that you're eating? I didn't need to eliminate anything. I needed to add more stuff. So that's actually
Yeah.
easier sometimes, unless the patient does not like going to the grocery or does not have access to vegetables or just despises vegetables in general. But yeah, like with you, I wouldn't say it was an easy thing to diagnose, but we just had it. You were an easy patient to deal with
Mm.
because it's
nice.
more of
And
adding.
and you help fix my like leaky candida gut as well because I love
Yeah.
sugar. I
Mm-hmm.
can't not have sugar. So that was a
That's
challenge.
Yeah, sugar is one thing that's as much as possible remove the artificial sugar from your diet because you can still have your fruits, you can still have your starch. If you're a rice eater, like Filipinos love rice, you can still have it. Just try to switch it up to a more to the higher fiber rice, so the brown rice, the red rice, and the wild rice.
Mm.
So it's totally okay. So it really depends on your body composition as well, because there are some people who just eat like too much carbs also, or they eat too much protein, too much fat. So and some people, they metabolize different types of or different types of macros differently. So you just gotta get
Mhm.
the right one for you. Like for you, Rob, you have to figure out like the macros. I think when in terms of losing weight,
Mm.
you have to figure out like how your body is able to metabolize, or which you're able to metabolize faster and stuff like that. So it's really an experiment. It
Okay.
will take several months for you to
Yeah,
figure
yeah,
it
Trying
out.
to fix for you,
yeah. But
yeah.
even if I didn't lose any weight yet, it was up and down. Pero
Yeah.
everything else, I feel great. My mood, I'm more calm.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep better. I'm more calm. I'm 21 again, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mood is great. I can breathe so well. Galing, and my energy is like, wow, it's intense.
That's good.
And
That's good.
so that being said, I'm a believer, doc. I'm a believer. I
For
just need to
sure.
really lose the weight, and I think it's also because 20 years of being a chef. Babad
Mm,
kami, babad kami sa dairy, cheese. Cheese is like the holy grail of culinary arts.
yeah,
You
it's so
know, the
good.
foie gras, pizza, everything that's processed.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? Oh my gosh! Plus, you'll add to that the Filipino habit of eating all this chichirya, canned goods and
In
stuff. Diba?
between, yes,
Oh,
yes.
and I love sweets. My whole life, I was a sweet addict. Cake,
Mm-hmm.
ice
Same.
cream, diba? Pero,
Now,
wala.
How
Ah,
are you now
sorry.
still,
without it? Are you okay?
Now you know what? I have this amazing dessert that I do. It's rolled oats with brown rice milk. I put a lot of cinnamon and
Mm-hmm.
freeze dried fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just comes together awesome. I have it every day, and it's my new dessert, and I love it. I love it.
Ooh, good,
Oh,
good.
Is that the one I commented on?
yes,
The
that's the
pink
one I
the pink
post.
one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's dehydrated dragon fruit, so that's why it becomes pink after a while.
Wow.
It's
Dehydrated
delicious.
dragon fruit.
It looks
Nice.
so pretty.
Yeah, someday I'll make for you guys. Let's see. We'll see where I'll be
Yes,
yeah,
and
please.
where I'll be
I
cooking
love
soon.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Okay, Mark says eating broccoli and egg white every day here. Lost 15 pounds already in 2 months.
Wow.
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 Yun.
Hey,
Okay.
congrats, Padre.
Yeah,
Pedre
make
Mark.
sure you
I
take
think
your
Mark,
vitamins.
because he's just eating egg white. A lot of us are allergic to the yolk, right? Or are
Actually,
intolerant to the white
actually,
yolk.
you will get a lot of allergies from the from the white because of the protein. Because it's really, yeah, a lot of the
Oh.
allergies is because of the proteins in the food. So
Mm.
yeah,
Oh,
we see sometimes when we do the elimination diet, when we bring back the egg, we start with the yolk actually. We start
Oh,
with the yolk.
okay.
Yeah. Because usually they don't get allergies with the white. Sorry, hold on.
right.
Oh, it's okay. What
Oh,
about you, Rika? Do you have any like functional medicine? What I think what's great about
what's your
functional
diet,
medicine.
Rika? Yes, what's
Huh?
great? What's great about fun?
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
what I was gonna say is like what I love about functional medicine is you don't have to be sick in order to go in for a consult. I think that's the biggest parang, we have to feel something muna before we go to the doctor. And that's how we've kind of been taught with regard to like traditional medicine is pag may sakit ka, tsaka ka magpapatingin. What's great about functional medicine, I feel, is like you don't have to be sick, but it's like how do you kind of continue your wellness and health to get to like it's the best possible wellness or health that's possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this whole time, I've been quiet because I was just thinking like, okay, I really am. I don't feel like I have anything that that's bothering me, but who knows, right? I would love to get even healthier than I am now. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like where I am right now is I'm, not naman at the peak of my health, but I do feel amazing. I'm super happy. Like I've been sleeping very well. I have super energy. I haven't had coffee since November of 2019.
Wow.
And
Oh,
yeah, coffee
congratulations.
free, and like my sugar is very minimal. It's like parang I'm in a place where my diet and stuff is, I'm just very happy with it. So I'm like, but I'm sure there are more things that I could do. So a person like me could
Mhm.
see you and see even more results, because that excites me. Like now I want
Yeah.
to book an appointment with you to take it further, like because it
Yeah.
feels so good to be in a good mood,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
most of the
Oh,
time.
mm,
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
So usually
and, and,
when we
and
get healthy patients, yeah, we just actually we make you answer like a very long questionnaire, and then you basically write down everything from your history. So like
Mm.
the day you were born, how your grade school and high school and college days were, and then how we make you log in a food diary for like 3 days just to analyze how you eat, because that's where we get a lot of things also. And then we get like how you sleep, your exercise routine, everything. We jot everything down. And then yeah, just to sometimes people think that like what I said earlier, they think that they're already eating healthily, or like, because for example they're already reaching their target weight, they're losing the weight ganyan. But when
Mm-mm.
you look at their food, it's they restrict it too much, and then they lack a lot of the vitamins, a lot of the micronutrients that your body needs to function, because your
Yeah,
body needs like a whole bunch of like micronutrients, B, C's, all the minerals for your body to create energy, for your body's immune system to function, for you to be able to detoxify. So that there are some things that you're not able to see, and then in the long term, after a few years, that's when you start seeing the effects of these things. So we as much as possible, we love to get healthy patients because it's really all about prevention right now. It's all about boosting your body so that you won't get the disease, or in the event, for example, because of COVID, in the event that you do get the virus, you will not succumb to the disease. So that's really the goal. So
yeah,
anything that can boost you up, it's not gonna hurt.
that is so
Sure.
important. I wish that everybody would be more aware that this thing exists, and that they should take action on their health, and see doctors like Doc Candy, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
do things. Every single meal should be a decision to eat better,
Yeah,
diba?
Mm,
I agree.
yeah.
It's like a food mindset. It's a healthy
Oh,
Yeah.
food
definitely.
It
mindset.
really is like it's a re-education of like what we were used to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
what we were used to was dictated by wrong data.
by
Diba?
the
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
commercials.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
dictated by market. It's dictated by. But there was a time it was all about I don't know, man. Iba-ibang diet all the time. It emerges fat
Yeah.
free, a calorie is a
Yeah.
calorie.
Mhm.
There's so much confusion there, and
Mm,
it's just tough. It's just really tough.
Like for the
But
longest time, we
yeah.
were taught to not to eat fats, right? Like any type of fat. But
yeah,
now data is showing that because we were went for like a super low fat, low salt, low everything diet, like we started eating a lot of carbs. And that really affected a lot of our bodies. Because if imagine if we followed these diets strictly, like over the past few years, why are there a lot of chronic diseases right now? Why in the Philippines, basically, like the in the top 10 things that more top 10 illnesses in the Philippines, out of the 10, 8 are actually chronic diseases. They're lifestyle related. They're not the
Mm,
infectious diseases anymore. Like in the 80s or in the 70s, you die because of pneumonia, of the flu, and the
Mm.
tuberculosis and stuff like that. But now it's really all about like hypertension and the complications of hypertension, diabetes, the complications of chronic kidney disease. And that really tells us a lot that there's really something wrong with lifestyle.
mm,
It's really like really because of the things that we eat, the things that we don't eat, the things that we don't do, like not exercising, not sleeping properly, not addressing the stress, or getting stressed out too much, working too much, and just making bringing your body down to its breaking point. And yeah, that's
mm,
those basic, and to think those things are really basic. That's diet. You
Mm-mm.
live, you eat every day, you sleep, you're supposed to sleep every day, and those are the basic things that we tend to forget.
Yeah.
mm.
That's true.
And I think also
Actually,
like a lot of it, like I said, it's what we've been taught, right? Like
mm,
we've been taught that like McDonald's is a treat, right?
it's a
Yeah.
That we're
happy
like
meal.
yeah,
exactly like
happy
fast food is a treat, or
Mhm.
like like let's stock up on like spam and instant noodles
And
because like
hot
if you're a
dog.
family of five and hot dogs, if you're a family of five, you want to keep to a budget, and as long as they're full and they're happy, that's kind of it. But then we kind of
Mhm.
we don't realize like what we're promoting, especially for kids. Kasi pag nasanay ka sa ganun, yun ang hahanap-hanapin mo. And it just
Yes.
becomes a really bad habit.
Mhm. We've
Mm,
lived for convenience na kasi. And you can't really blame a lot of people because of the hectic lifestyle nowadays. So everything just has to be very easy. So how do you live a healthy lifestyle na madali, like in terms of diet, right? Most of the healthy stuff, it's you're supposed to cook it or you're supposed to prep it, and a lot of people, so there are some people, they work 7 days a week, so where's the time to prep?
yeah,
um
yeah.
so I think it's actually also just making them like get the healthier choices. Like you for example, like Kathy, you end up in Jollibee one day, and you have no choice but to eat Jollibee. So what are you gonna choose? Are you gonna choose the burger, or are you gonna choose, let's say, the Chicken Joy? So if I were to choose, I'd go for the Chicken Joy. At least I know that's chicken, right?
Yeah.
As compared to the burger, that we don't know if the patty is really beef, or I'm sure there are a lot of extenders. And
Yeah.
it's sometimes it's really just sad because the cheaper food are actually the unhealthy ones.
yep,
I don't know, I think that's really out of my league. Like how do you make healthier food cheaper, more accessible to people?
Yeah.
yep,
I
I
yep,
think
think
that's
yep.
a challenge.
yeah, the chef Rob, maybe it's a challenge for you, like how to make healthier food more accessible to people. And yeah, they think there are a lot of food deliveries now that they also claim to be healthy, but when I check their menu, it's like there's sky flakes and there's
Yeah.
something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do these people really know what they're talking about? There's spam and stuff like that. I'm like, guys, please lang. It's so frustrating also.
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough because basically the ones there's no actually I think the a lot of the unhealthy habits are brought about by the big companies' marketing budgets. Eh.
Mm.
There's this thing called NutriBoost now, diba?
What's that?
What is
Nutrition
that?
and
Yeah.
foods. And then
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
look at their ingredients, dude, I will not feed that to my child.
Yep.
There's 40 teaspoons of sugar in one Tetra pack of NutriBoost, plus
Uh,
all these things that make fake dairy.
yep. I
Pare,
saw.
diba?
wow.
I
Tapos
saw.
may,
I saw a
diba?
packet.
Blah.
Yeah, so it's this, it's big companies also who are, you know, they're doing it because people are buying it, and
Mm.
when and people talk vegetables, no one gets excited. Vegetables, fruits,
It's a
diba?
very unsexy thing, kumbaga, to talk about.
Yeah, it
But,
is. It's not
diba?
sexy thing, but it's making people sick. It's causing an early mortality rate, Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why, and like, okay, let's talk about mindset a bit. The reason why I'm going vegan is I'm not selling out because I love good steak, I love good meat, I love sweets and everything. But now I got this my thyroid, a bunch of other stuff that maybe I'm not too comfortable sharing with the general public here on the podcast. But then it's because pala of what I was eating. Eh. Diba? So it was so hard. And then now I see my kids, I want to be able to meet my grandkids someday. That's why I'm making this choice. It's for me to live longer. It's not anymore
Mm,
so much about the vanity. Eh. I just want to live longer and live well. I don't want to grow up to be this sickly, weak, overweight person who will get dizzy with a few steps of stairs. So how am I ever going to enjoy my grandkids then?
for
Yun lang
sure.
naman. You know, Hassel. David Hasselhoff siya.
No, but I think what's great about what you did is like you really, you really came face to face with like what was happening to your health and to your body right now, and you're putting in, the work to fix it. A lot of us, like the only time we'd actually go see a doctor is, when feeling mo may diabetes ka na, or
Exactly.
feeling mo may hypertension ka na, like, there are signs already. So, I think like it really is wonderful if you can develop a good relationship with your doctor. And I recommend functional medicine because that's what's been working for me, and I have a great relationship with Doc Candy. And, like it's interesting also getting that perspective on your, like what's happening to you and your health from like a third person, and just journeying with them to get to that better place.
Yeah, for sure. For
Um,
sure.
So I have a son from Nick. He says I work on a ship and it's very hard
Hi,
to eat
Nick.
healthy.
Hi,
I
Nick.
have to stock up when we hit port, but working 30 to 40 days at sea is a struggle. Ugh, for sure. Sa barko with Chandlers, the first thing that goes really is the fruits and the vegetables. That's the first thing you guys cook in the first 2 weeks, because una masisira, and then after it's all the protein and the grains. And yeah, I feel you, man. Like, lots of constipated seafarers out there.
Right. Yeah, but grains are okay, no? Grains and legumes are good because they're packed with fiber. Doc, is it true that our microbiome they feed off good fiber? I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, they feed on, yeah,
So parang with the
fiber.
fiber, it's not
Yeah,
so.
so that's why we recommend a lot
So
of
the
fiber.
fiber that we eat is not so much for us; it's for our little friends.
Yes. Yeah, when we say that we eat fiber, it's to like to help with constipation and to help with or when you have diarrhea, you actually need more fiber. It's really for our friends also. And
Yeah,
to, get that stool all
yeah.
packed up. So yeah. That's what their food, their main food.
I know. Ever
Yeah,
since I met
sorry,
with,
I just want to go back to
yeah,
Nick
go ahead.
about the being on the ship. Yeah, it's kind of hard really to, especially if the resources are very limited. We actually tried to we gave talks to this company that handles seafarers and how it's part of their program. because they're getting a lot of seafarers. When they get back to the Philippines, they actually develop more illnesses while they were on board,
Whoa.
and basically we basically gave a lecture on what to eat, how to prepare food, and we gave the it's a good thing that the chefs were there, like the ones who were preparing their foods are actually there, so that they know what to serve. Now, when it in terms of storage, I'm not sure like how much freezer space they have in the ship, but it's actually okay to freeze your vegetables. If you know that you need like enough stock for like 30 days at a time, it's actually okay to freeze it. Of course, you won't be able to eat it as a salad, let's say for your lettuce and stuff like that, but it's okay to freeze your veggies and even your fruits. So eventually you can just make them into smoothies. If for example you're like 2 3 weeks in the ship already, like just get the frozen veggies and then put it in the blender and then just blend it up and then take a
Mm.
shot of it, and that's it. It's really, you just have to find a way more, find a way, even if it's not really yummy, just treat it as a tequila shot, just down it and be
Yeah,
done
yeah,
with
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
problem with seafarers is at the end of the day, it really depends on who their chandler is. Like whoever the
Yeah.
people is, like like putting the food on the ship and whatever. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's tough.
Yeah,
It's
when it comes
tough.
to that, yeah, you really have to work with the company and you have to work with the chefs, because I think they're the ones who need to who go out and buy the stuff when they're on board. So yeah,
Mm,
it's really a whole system, a whole different system to work with.
yeah. But
Yeah,
Doc, is
yeah.
there anything that they can do? Like, we're talking about nutrition. What about supplementation in terms of, if he's stuck eating, whatever food is on the ship, can he supplement with prebiotics, probiotics, multivitamins
Yeah,
to
that's
keep
one
him?
to sustain him at least for the next few weeks. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that we recommend, because we know that the vegetables are not going to be that abundant on board. So we usually recommend taking like a multivitamin, a fish oil or an omega-3, probiotics definitely. If they won't have access to vegetables, get the good prebiotics. So there are actually combinations right now that um you can get in like health stores. They have a pro and a prebiotic combination in one capsule, so you can take that as well. You can, and vitamin D, because sometimes they don't get sunlight when they're on board. They're like, yeah,
What?
they're not up
They're always
there in the,
below that.
yeah, they're always down there, so down in the deck. So yeah, it's good to get vitamin D3 as well. Now of course, if you have other illnesses, it really depends on what type of illness or what you're predisposed to. So sometimes we recommend turmeric, or curcumin to help with inflammation. It's also good for
Mm.
liver detoxification. And those with asthma, we tell them to bring lagundi on board. So that's one of our sampung halamang gamot in the Philippines. It's
Mm.
really good to help with asthma attacks. And for example, they're about to get a cough, or yeah, so they can take lagundi as well. And then what else? So yeah, it really depends. There are some people who like taking a lot of supplements. So I always tell them, please consult your doctor first before taking any, because some of these supplements or like herbal preparations, they can interact with each other, and if they have maintenance medications, they can interact with them. Like for example, if
Mm.
they're taking a blood thinner, we can't really give turmeric because turmeric acts as a blood thinner.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so
Oh, okay.
we have to consult us before giving anything, before taking anything.
Wow. And then it's all just like at the healthy options about like take your pick
Yes.
of,
Yeah,
whatever
healthy options,
multivitamin.
GNP. In terms of multivitamins, there are some brands that are better than others. So I won't mention any brand here, but just check if there's a seal of good manufacturing practice. So GMP. So if there's like a seal for good manufacturing practice, more or less, those are pretty safe. Um,
Mm.
and then if you can go with the gluten-free, organic supplements, those are a lot better, of course. So less processed, less on the fertilizers and all of those stuff. So yeah,
Got it.
those are
That's
good.
great.
Yeah.
Great.
Sorry, you were gonna say, Rob?
No, 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 that's great. That's awesome. I mean, all
Okay.
of this information is really great. No? I mean, yeah, I'm a I'm a believer, doc. I'm a believer talaga. In
Oh
fact,
yes.
Healthy kasi, 'di ba? Once you feel the effects of following a strict diet or eating right for your body, you won't. It's like you don't want to go back.
Yeah,
Yes,
Or
that's so
diba?
true.
that's the thing that I don't want is I don't want to go back. I don't want to go to back to that not be able to breathe and interrupted sleep. Yeah, just sorry, I'm speechless. I'm awesome. I'm awesome with this whole diet thing.
you're
With this whole
21.
diet thing. I'm
You're
21. Yeah,
21.
He's good.
yeah. It's the
Doc, I want.
secret. It's the
So Doc, I kind
secret.
of. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so Doc Candy, I wanted to ask a little bit. Like we're talking about supplementation. Like I really suck at keeping to a routine and taking vitamins.
I know,
Which is why
right?
which is why like for me like the IV drips that you have at Centro Holistico, like I feel that they work for me a lot better. Also kind of finding out that like my body pala doesn't absorb as much vitamin C as it should,
Mhm.
and it's just going straight into the bloodstream. I feel the effects better. But then there are a lot of people also saying that IV nutrient drips aren't as effective. They're basically like it's like sugar water with vitamins. Could you like just educate us a little bit about the benefits of an IV? Because like I've tried it. I will I will give my testimonial and everything. But then a lot of people are just saying like it's a trend. It's a bunch of hooey. There are a
Mhm.
lot of different like beauty parlors or whatever that are offering like glutathione drips and stuff like that. So yeah, do you mind like just educating us a little bit on what that is and what the benefits are?
Okay, so the IV nutrient therapy the one we have in the clinic, and a lot of other clinics actually offer it as well. They're infusions of high doses of, let's say, vitamin C, B complex, other antioxidants, and other minerals. So if you look at our body's biochemistry, we actually need a lot of micronutrients for our body to function. Now, there are some people like you who are not able to absorb some of these nutrients. Sometimes it's because of a leaky gut, because when you have a leaky gut, your body, the cells are not able to absorb the nutrients. Some because their microbiome is shot. Their microbiome is not healthy, so they're not able to produce the B vitamins and they're not able to process the food, hence extracting the nutrients from the food. Um, Sometimes there's just some people like the elder population, they're not able to absorb much B12. Basically because, well, their cells and the gut cells are not as healthy anymore and stuff like that. So there are a lot of different indications for the IV drips. Now, there are some claims that they don't do much. Maybe it's because that the dose is not right for that person, or
Mm,
the basically the cocktail is not right for that person. So their doctor has to know what they're doing. Basically, that's it. Because if, for example, for you, if I give you a B5 and a B6 and selenium, and you don't need that in your system because you're already absorbing a lot of it or you're taking a lot of it already, you're not going to feel the effect. Definitely.
mm,
But if I know that, okay, this person, based on her signs and symptoms, she's lacking a lot of the vitamin C, magnesium, calcium, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to give you, and you're really going to feel the effect. So it
yeah.
really depends on what they give you, what your body needs. Now there are some people who don't need it. So they're lucky.
Mm,
There are some people who can't absorb nutrients that much. So they really need to get it through IV while we're fixing their bodies, while we're fixing their gut. So we get a lot of patients like that. Now they have a leaky gut. Their microbiome is really not that good. They're not able to digest their food properly. So we really need to do an IV like once, twice a week, just for their system to function properly. And then at the same time,
mm,
we're fixing their gut. We're fixing the leaky gut. We're giving them other supplements to fix the leaky gut. We're giving them probiotics and prebiotics for them to have better microbiome. If we need to kill off some of the bacteria in their gut, that if there's overgrowth, we do that. And then eventually we'll wean them off on
mm.
the vitamins because they don't need it anymore. So
Yeah,
there. So maybe, yeah, maybe the reason why people think that they don't feel the effects is because they don't need it. Basically,
got it.
that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like I would recommend to everybody to get a, medical consult with Doc Candy. And you also do something with a blood test. Like I remember like she did a blood test something with me, and like I'm anemic and I have low blood. And when she checked my blood under the microscope, it was yellow.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
What does that
like,
mean? What does it mean?
this is
As in,
crazy. Like, why
iron
is it
deficiency anemia, ganon.
Why does it? What does it mean if it's yellow?
I'm anemic.
Ano ba tong internet?
Wild.
Yeah, so that was like that was kind of like a wake up call for me. So I was like, oh my God, I really need to fix like whatever's in my, I need more iron in my system, basically. So
Mhm.
yeah, Doc Candy kind of
Yeah.
helped sort me out. Yeah. What about you, Rika? Do you have any
Yeah, because when
questions
we
for
do a
Doc
live
Candy?
blood,
I have a lot. It's like I can't seem to put my questions in order. But just off the bat, like since we were talking about supplements, I noticed that whenever I take supplements, because obviously I'm probably not taking the right dose for my size and stuff or weight. Um, I feel like when I take all the vitamins and supplements that are good for me that are in the house, how come my appetite like quadruples, and it's like all I want to do is eat. So I just limit the supplements, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is getting me fat.
Maybe that's the supplements working for all we know.
Oh
So am
man.
I
okay,
malnourished? I'm malnourished, siguro.
you might be missing some nutrients that you need. So I always tell my patients, if you start craving for something, well, except for sweets, okay, whenever you crave for sweets, it means that you have a high candida and a lot of other overgrowth in the gut. But if you're craving
Oh.
for something specific, for example, you're craving for something sour, it
Okay.
can be an indication that you're missing a lot of the B's and the C's, vitamin B's and the C's. So that's
Okay.
why you're craving for something so like citrusy, diba? So because like citrus fruits, they have a lot of vitamin C. If you're craving for something, yeah, if you're craving for, your body will crave for what it's lacking, basically. So like for you, if you're taking your supplements, okay, whenever you take supplements, remember your body needs a lot of micronutrients for your body to churn out, to create the energy molecule, which is ATP. So it might be like, well, from what you're telling me, it might be that whenever you take your supplements, your metabolism just ramps up because
Mm.
you're able to create more energy molecule. That's why you have you feel that you're hungry. Now the trick there is to eat more but with less calories if you don't want to get fat.
How do you
Or
eat? Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
Like
you have to
smaller.
go to fatter food. Yeah. So you have to go with lower calorie foods. Or you have to work out more. There's a no. So there's a calorie and calorie out thing. So yun. So your body just needs to move more. Um because your body is wanting to eat more, something like that. So it really depends. So maybe I need to
Jeez.
go through your food diary or something like that to see baka you're
I'm
not eating enough pala for your body.
I
You're
don't
not
think I am. I eat so
yeah.
little.
How little do you eat in a day?
Um,
Yun
because
yun.
because I do yoga, it really kills my appetite because you're
Really?
twisting, you're bending. So really, after that, you don't want to eat anything. You don't want to put anything in
Oh,
because you're all
I want to.
twisted.
I'd like to do yoga. I'd like to do yoga.
Me also. Parang I want that feeling that you don't wanna eat.
Parang nakakasawa kumain. So
Doc,
I
I have a
take
very
vitamins.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Doc. I have a very interesting question because we're approaching our time limit.
Mhm.
Mm.
Does
Oh,
your clinic offer fecal transplants and what is it?
fecal
No. That yeah,
transplants.
that has to be done in a lab talaga. And then
Okay,
it's not
okay.
as easy as you think. Parang you're supposed
Oh
to
no,
get stool from from Para may specific parameters. I'm not 100% sure what the parameters,
Yeah.
but alam ko something from a baby and like this. And it has to be feces from where you're originally from. Or why you're living in Metro Manila. Kasi the microbiome of someone from the States is totally different from our microbiome here.
Yes.
So because different types of food, different earth, different
Yeah.
everything basically.
But sorry,
So
Doc, to interrupt. Can we tell our wonderful friends what a fecal transplant is?
okay, fecal transplant is basically you get poop from another source and then you transplant it or you put it in the gut of another person. So in
Ew.
other countries, they've been doing that because it's to parang for example, it's a last resort kasi if you get a sterile gut or a gut that's not healthy. So yung parang nakailang treatment na and you're not able to achieve that optimal gut health. So what they do, they clean out the gut and then
Ugh.
they put they put feces basically. That's healthy feces. Now they
Healthy
also do it
poop.
healthy poop. So also sometimes they do it if there's sterile gut. So those are the ones that for example there are some babies who are born with a sterile gut because
Oh,
they were given antibiotics at birth or the mom took antibiotics before giving birth and stuff like that. So they have to do that. Or
Mm.
sometimes after an operation the micro for example they do an operation on the colon and they're not able to regenerate their microbiome afterwards. So yeah, you need a fecal transplant.
oh my gosh.
That
Yeah.
sounds
Do you need a
disgusting, but
fecal transplant, Rob? Or are
science.
you?
It's not that well, it's not that bad because it's not gonna pass through your mouth anyway. It's gonna pass through the other way.
I know,
I
but just the thought of like having somebody else's poop inside you is just
Yeah.
disturbing.
Ah,
through ano
I
call
thought
it,
I
what
thought
do you
you'd
call
find
it,
that interesting.
through enema?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
even
through enema.
worse.
I'm not sure exactly how the process is, but yeah, it's basically through an enema. I would like to
Ugh,
believe. And then there's
squirm.
actually an episode in Grey's Anatomy like a few years ago that they had to do a
Watch
fecal
that.
transplant because they were able to watch it because this
Oh, watch it.
person took too much antibiotics and she basically killed her whole gut microbiome. So they had to do a fecal transplant. Does
Doc,
that happen?
Because for a good part of 7 years of my life, I was taking antibiotics 2 to 3 times a year
Whoa, why?
What?
because I would get this throat, itchy throat.
Infection.
Yeah, and then
Oh.
it would spread to my and the only
Your
thing that would cure is antibiotics.
Yeah, yeah. So you from the start you had a really parang your immune system wasn't good na. And then
Yeah.
yeah, it messed up your gut. Are you taking any probiotics now?
Now, yes, Doc Raymond has me on some good stuff. And
Okay.
guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna knock on wood.
Mm.
Haven't gotten that sickness anymore.
Yeah, so there you go. Because
But
basically
every
you're
year I got it 3 times. 3 times a year.
every year.
At
When was
least.
the last time you had it? You took
Parang
antibiotics.
last year November.
Okay, so now for since November wala pa. You're good.
Wala. Yeah, and then you know
Good.
what? Usually kasi I was so weak, cold aircon, konting pawis, konting ulan, sakit agad, sakit.
That's
Mhm.
me.
Ngayon wala.
That used to
Ngayon
be me
wala.
as well.
So super strong. That's why I'm so happy. I'm so happy to discover functional medicine. I'm so happy
Mm.
to understand what a microbiome is and how
Mhm.
to take care of it. I'm just waiting for my model body para gusto ko maging kasing sexy ni Nico Bolzico eh.
With the washboard abs. It's gonna come. It's gonna
Wala
come.
kasi yung girlfriend ngayon eh.
It out. I keep telling Rob, the only people that are gonna look at your abs first are all the gay guys. women women don't really care.
So
So
what do
if
women
that's who
look
you're
at? What do women look at? What do women look at? The mic.
It depends.
Uh,
It depends on what
yeah.
we like.
oh.
Eyes,
Sige,
hands,
I know.
feet.
How can you? Well, you know what?
Shoulders.
I just hope I get to date a woman with a healthy microbiome.
Wow.
so that your kids will have healthy
Require,
microbiome.
like,
No, no, sorry, I have kids already,
nutrition,
Doc.
no? Like,
That's a
so
complicated statement. No, I don't plan to have any more kids. I don't plan to have any more kids.
So let's do a stool exam on all of the girls you're gonna date first. And then pag pasado, okay, go
Grabe
rub it.
naman.
Oo.
Hindi lang swab test at saka rapid
Hindi,
test.
stool
Kailangan may
exam.
poop stool.
So,
High
Doc,
standards.
ito medyo may sensitivity ito, no? Can you imagine, no? I want to say, no, the future of the next generation of children, if the parent is so ignorant of all of these things, they are potentially damaging the health of their kids, feeding them
Hmm,
stuff like, all these sugary drinks, hot dogs
yep,
of all colors, diba?
yeah.
How sad is that? And then, oh my God, dude, how
Ano,
sad is that?
generation pa lang natin, 'di ba? We're getting heart attacks and diabetes at such an early age, like
Yeah, it's
20s,
nuts.
30s, 'di ba?
It's
Why?
nuts.
yeah.
'Di ba? Baby boomers yung 'di ba? Our parents basically they grew up with a lot of delata and that's what we were
Mm.
eating growing up. And
Yun.
'di ba? Back
Instant
then,
noodle.
yeah, back
Yeah,
then
but
kasi
our lolas, our grandparents,
the,
they were
grabe,
eating
'di
the
ba?
real food, diba?
Yes, my lola used to eat like what do you call that? The lechon kawali like every like
My
twice
lola
a week.
too.
Twice
Yeah,
a week.
Oh
And
my
she lived till 96
yeah.
because wala sobrang bihira sila mag-process food. They really ate the real stuff. So they really lived a long, long life. Now with our
God.
generation, you'd hear talaga a lot of chronic diseases at such a young age, and it's so sad. And I
Yeah.
just want to tell everyone, it's reversible. You know,
Yes, yes.
kayang-kaya siyang baliktarin.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. No,
reversible.
so
A
Yeah.
consult with Doc Candy at Centro Holistico. Yes.
And with all of the other functional medicine doctors, it's easy to find us now. On like there's a lot more of us. Before when we started, we were just like a dozen. Like that
Mm.
was
wow.
yeah, that was around like 4 years ago. There was just a dozen of us. But now because the training actually came here to the Philippines last year. There are actually more
Ah,
practitioners of functional medicine in the Philippines. So yeah, we're very happy about that.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. That's great to hear.
fantastic. Sige. Well, we're almost at the top of the hour. So, Doc Candy, before we let you go, do you have any tips for people, before they set a consult with you, for people who just want to work on their health and wellness, especially, that we're all stuck at home? What are practical things that we can do to boost our immune system?
Okay, so number one, diet. So remove the bad stuff. So those are the processed, preserved food items, things with sugar. When we say sugar, it's
Mm.
really the artificial sugar. So any added sugars in the diet, just try to remove all of the stuff, and try to eat a more plant-based diet. When we say plant-based, it doesn't have to be like 100% plants. You don't have to go all vegan if you don't want to, but at least you look at your plate. At least 70% to 80% of it are vegetables.
Good.
So that's a yeah, that's like rice is considered naman in the plant industry. So in the plant world. So rice is still okay, but don't fill up your rice. So for example, if this is your plate, fill up half with your non-starchy veg, and then the other one fourth for your starch. So it can be your mashed potato, your any starchy vegetable. It can be rice if you like rice. And then the other one fourth, that's where you have your proteins. So the
Mm.
thing now is I think we tend to eat too much protein. So
Yeah.
we gotta limit it. Our bodies don't need that much animal protein or like very dense protein. So because we get protein from plants anyway. So basically, so
Mm.
why do we want like a majority plant-based diet? Because that's where you get a lot of your micronutrients for your body to function better. Aside from that, exercise is very important. At least you go through you move every day. If you can't move every day, you don't have to go all like go to the gym every day or like lift weights every day. It's really more of movement, to get the
Yeah.
lymphatic system moving, to get your blood moving, to get your heart pumping. It also helps balance out your hormones. Number three,
Mm.
yeah, it helps. It really helps a lot. Exercise is not just about burning the calories. It's about it gives you a whole lot of other benefits. Sleep well, at least 8 hours a night. Hindi po totoo that adults only need 6 hours. We need at least a minimum of 7 to 8 hours a night, and that's supposed to be quality sleep. How do you get if you're having problems with your sleeping patterns? You can take some melatonin or anything that will help you sleep. If essential oils help you sleep, by all means do that. And lessen your stress in your life, unnecessary stress, because we all, unfortunately, we cannot live without stress. Just going out and driving your car to going to wherever is already stressful. But if you can
Mm.
limit your stress levels, if anything unnecessary, just get it out of your life, and do things that will help you lessen the stress or the effects of stress in your body. So if you can do yoga, it actually, there are studies that say that it lowers your cortisol levels. Do mindful exercises, meditation, pray. It really depends on you. If exercise lessens your stress, then by all means go exercise every day. um, and of course, if you need to supplement, so the supplementation is very individualized. So you really have to work with your doctor who knows their stuff when it comes to supplementation. So um, I'm not gonna like prescribe anything right now, but it will depend again on what you're missing. And please get some sun, guys. Wala nang ulan the past few days. So please get some
Yeah.
sun, because the sun actually helps with hormone balance. It will help you sleep
Wow.
better. Yes, because when you
Oh,
get your
And it makes
sunlight in the daylight, during the day, it inhibits your melatonin. So when it inhibits your melatonin in the daytime, automatically your melatonin increases during the night. So it's not just,
nice.
just to get dark and to get your vitamin D, it's also to help with hormone balance and to help you with your sleep. So there, those are some of the basics that you can do at home.
fantastic. Very
May I
practical.
add? Yeah, may I add a little discovery?
Mm-hmm.
Because usually I do my groceries on a weekly basis. No, it's either on a Sunday or on a Monday for the rest of the week. Um, People might say, vegan, mahal, mahirap, diba? But
Mm-hmm.
I managed to fill my entire ref up for a third of the cost. You
Palengke?
know,
How?
no, grocery pa nga, Rustans.
Talaga? Actually,
Yeah, kasi,
if you
you know, I was buying a lot of, kasi when I was going, no, a pack of zucchini, 40 pesos. And then I'd get okra, 18 pesos. And then I get like, so basically I got all the vegetables. I get a lot of onions, potatoes, sweet potatoes, okra, eggplant, zucchini, patola, mushrooms. I love mushrooms now. Diba? So I make a lot
mm,
of these like,
yeah.
and it's like what you said, no? For example, I'm going to make pochero, but then I only have like one rib, but the entire bowl's
Mm-hmm.
filled with vegetables, though. And I computed the calories and the cost. The cost is about half to less than
About,
half. Yeah. And then
yeah.
the calories, I was
It's the
surprised.
animal protein kasi that's expensive.
Yeah, and the calories, I was so busog I couldn't finish my bowl anymore. I was forcing myself to eat, but the calories were so low. Kagulo siya. And
Good
then
job.
if I compare
You
it,
should
if
have
I a recipe
you should
sample,
have like
I'm planning.
a tutorial.
I'm planning. I'm just trying to get it right.
Yeah.
I want to have a little bit of abs so I can cook without a shirt. Alas si Rika
Ayan na naman tayo
nagpakamot
sa
ng
paa.
ulo. Ha? Kasi I need to be I need to be a success story before I do it. But yeah, it's not as expensive as people think. And it's
Mhm.
deliciously wonderful, no? Because I garnish with a lot of fresh herbs now. I love cilantro. I love scallions and basil, and so I'm learning to ferment now really well.
Nice.
So there's a lacto fermentation. It has a lot of that whatever lactobacilli, diba? Solid
Mhm.
siya. I catch myself.
Yeah.
I'm not partners with Doc, no. I'm just promoting it. I catch myself eating this gigantic bowl, and a cup of rice, or sometimes 2 cups, and I just go, wow, it's so good. Because I think the test, no, this is the test of food as a chef. This is how I see it. If you try eating beef, steak, pork, or anything without salt, it's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna taste delicious. It won't be delicious. If you eat sweet potato, zucchini, a ripe tomato, a fruit, just by itself, it's so good. And
Mm-hmm.
para for me, it creates this magical moment when that's what you're actually supposed to eat. By itself, it's already amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Diba?
Yeah.
So wala
Yeah.
lang. That's just my 2 cents as a chef. I just had
I
to
think
share.
one thing also, yeah, that's one of the problems with Filipinos is we don't know how to prepare our vegetables. Um, Parang all we know is the pakbet, the
Oh my gosh.
sinigang.
Pakbet.
Yeah. Diba?
Oh.
So I think we need to add more variety, like a lot of like tutorials when it comes to preparing the vegetables, like what you did with your pochero, how you went about it, like adobo. Like now, my I love cooking adobo with mushrooms
So good.
and other a lot of other veggies,
So good.
diba?
Yeah.
Kasi it's an and you don't actually miss the animal meat the meat or even the chicken or even the fish because with
Mm.
the vegetables are really good. So I think we just need to educate people more. So yeah, go do your thing,
Yeah, and
Rob, for
I
the
have can I have another short story, girls?
Go.
So after the second MECQ, I wanted to treat myself. No, I went to a Chinese restaurant. I ordered vegetable fried rice and get this sweet and sour shiitake mushrooms. It's cooked like the pork. Oh my gosh, dude! It was so fucking good. But then the moment I put the shomai in my mouth, I started to chew it. My you know my
uh,
my my stomach went like this, oh, glug, 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 glug. And then I was
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the banyo.
Oh
This is like
no.
literally 2 minutes after the shomai entered my mouth.
Oh
And that's when I
gosh.
realized na parang, oh my God, I'm so sensitive pala. But anyway, I promote a vegan. Doc, if you need me to help you with recipes, game ako dyan.
Yes, game.
Oo. When I have my cooking show and it's safe, guest kayo lahat. You'll be all my guests. I want to cook for you a vegan meal that's
Yay,
delicious.
What?
That's my
game.
new
For
life
sure.
goal. Eh.
Yeah.
And then
Oo.
colon cleanse after.
Oo, sabay-sabay tayo ha.
I will hold your hand.
Oo, sabay-sabay tayo.
Go. I think you should have a show with all of your recipes, all of the vegan recipes. That would be so good.
Yeah, I'll develop it
Yeah.
pa more. Kasi so far, 30% okay, 70% sablay talaga.
Oh.
It's a paradigm shift eh.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm.
Definitely.
I used to base everything around the protein, the pork, the fat, the cheese, the
Mm-hmm.
pepperoni, the hamon, all these things that are ano, diba? So now
I'm hungry now.
I'm trying to elevate now mushrooms, pumpkin,
Mm.
zucchini,
Mm-hmm.
and I truly believe it can be done, but it needs a lot of work.
Yes, it really needs a lot of work. It needs even
Yes.
when it comes to the practice of eating, the habit of eating vegetables. Like the texture is different. So you really have to train your palate and your body to think that this is what you need. Because sometimes you look for that for the bite of the meat, the ba.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, you just really have to train your body.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Right.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, guys. It's been such an interesting conversation. I've learned so much, again, as usual, with Doc Candy. And, I think at the end of the day, like, this journey of understanding our bodies and, how it functions, we're also different. Like, I didn't realize just how different, like, it would be. And I think I just developed just a greater appreciation for functional medicine and what you do, Doc Candy. So thank you so much for spending time with us. We really,
Yes.
really appreciate you.
Thank you for having
Like let's book Rob's colon cleanse already. And yeah, we will see you
Oh,
and the
can you
vegan
girls stay with me? Can you be with me when I do it, please?
I will hold your hand while you go through it. They say it's like the first time. So it'll be very interesting to see it coming
Oh my
from you.
gosh.
So yeah, any last words, guys?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc.
I
That was
had
so
fun. Thanks,
insightful and
guys.
informational. Hope
Yeah,
to
I
have
had
you again on
Awesome.
our next one. On
sure.
our
Just let
next.
me know.
Yes, please. And then, Doc, for those who don't really know you, where can they find you?
Oh, they can find me in Centro Holistico. I'll be back in the clinics this September. I'm just, taking a break. So we have three branches in Alabang, in Pasig, and in Quezon City. So for more information, you can just check out our website. It's www.centroholisticoph.com. So Centro is with a C. Centroholisticoph.com. Then you'll get all of the information and all of our contact details there.
All right. Great.
Fantastic. Well, in that case, thank you so much, Doc
Yeah,
Candy.
thank
Thank you
you.
guys for
Thank
staying with
you.
us till the end of this. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.